I feel like I'm about to start a YouTuber apology video. So guys, I did something bad. For this video, I thought I'd get a little bit more serious because this is something I've kind of had in my head, wanted to express it somehow. Why not on this channel as a video? And that is how I, fell in love with, then out of love with, then back in love with Doctor Who. Probably a majority, as the majority of people would have started. I started with obviously New Who. Funny enough, I did not start on the first episode of series 1. No, back when it was, I started when it was on, when it was airing. I did not start with the first episode because I just randomly caught it on I was just flicking through TV, and the second episode, End of the World, was on, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. I've always been into kind of sci-fi, Star Wars and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is interesting. Got done with the first episode. I'm like, okay, I need to see more of this. This is kind of piqued my interest. It was engaging. I had a lot of fun with it. I need to see more of it, and that's where it began. That's where it began. But it wasn't until David Tennant started is when I really fell in love with the show. I know it's a cliche, everybody loves Tennant, everybody loves the 10th Doctor, but to me he was my Doctor. I absolutely loved David Tennant. I love the 10th Doctor. The stories that he had, the huge majority of them, fantastic. And I'm like, wow, this is one of the best shows in existence. I absolutely love this show. And it was during that time is when I found out Doctor Who is actually older than I thought, because I just thought this was just this new show that that started. Even missing the whole the Doctor knows what the Daleks are and stuff like that. Because I was a kid, I wasn't paying attention as much. I was just there to be entertained. During series, I think it was either during series 2 or maybe after series 2, or even probably just in between the gap between series 1 and 2. I can't remember, it was so long ago, but I was randomly flicking through TV again, and I just caught this oh, Doctor Who is on, but it's not the right day, and it's not the right time. This is odd. Let me see what it is. I saw it, and it was one of the episodes of Warrior's Gate, the Fourth Doctor story, and I'm like, this isn't Doctor Who. This looks ancient. This looks old. This isn't Doctor Who. And then I looked it up, and then I thought, oh, this is actually a really old TV show that they brought back. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's different. Maybe I'll check out one of these older episodes. And it wasn't until Castrovalva, the first full episode with the Fifth Doctor, that I really started to like classic Who. I'm like, and for those who know, then the Fifth Doctor is my favorite when it comes to classic Doctors, for nostalgic reasons, because he's the one that got me into classic Who. So my love for Doctor Who expanded. It was broadened by now this knowledge that, okay, it's not only just the two that I knew of, the 9 and 10. There's actually more, because I didn't know about the naming, the numbered Doctors. It was just the Doctor, and he just happened to change his face when he dies. So now I have a lot more to try and find, to look back on, if I can find the DVDs, if there's a website that had the episodes. So my love for Doctor Who was at its probably like at its peak here with David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. Series 2, Series 3, Series 4. Like, oh, absolutely just eating everything up with Doctor Who. That just as to show that as big as a fan that I was, I would make sure I would always watch an episode when it aired. If I missed an episode when it aired, like on the day at 7:30 on ABC, I felt like I was committing a sin. Like I was committing a crime by not doing that. That's how much I loved the TV show. And when I found out Tennant was leaving, I was heartbroken. Like, he was my doctor. He's this person that I had really no connection to. I don't know him in real life, obviously, but I felt like I did, because I've been watching all of his adventures, his highs and his lows, like all of it. I felt like he's like an important like person in my life, and to see him leave and not be the doctor anymore, it was heartbreaking. I did cry in his regeneration scene. I did cry seeing him go, and I just felt bitter when Matt Smith took over. I was like, you're not the 10th Doctor. You could never be David Tennant. No one could ever replace him. Ate my words, because he's a very close second favourite of mine, the 11th Doctor, because just how he's portrayed, his personality, most of the stories that he was in. It's like, okay, the show is still really, really good, even with essentially a different team, a different Doctor in the lead. So I still fully in love with this show, and it made me want to go out and just appreciate it more, with like buying the DVDs, just visiting back. Well, no, this is really kind of showing my age. Back when they used to have ABC shops, fellow Aussies, fellow Aussie Doctor Who channels. Remember when ABC shops existed? Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, they don't exist anymore. They closed them down. How dare they? Like that was my number one source to get like Doctor Who books or DVDs if I couldn't be bothered going to like a JB Hi-Fi, or if they didn't have it at like a Kmart or a Target. Getting them all, and it was at an ABC shop that I got to meet one of my favourite Doctors, the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison. I got to meet him at an ABC shop when he was doing a signing, and I got him to sign. I've shown this before. I've talked about this before. My copy of the 25th anniversary edition of the 5 Doctors. It was such a huge moment for me that I got to meet him. I was kind of like shocked, like, you are here, I am meeting you. I was a man of very few words meeting him. So yeah, still in an all-time high, like loving Doctor Who, just eating everything up to do with it. Then Matt Smith it leaves. It finishes his tenure as the 11th Doctor. I also cried at that. I was really sad about that. It's like, oh, like, I hated you at the beginning, but now I've really, really loved you. I don't want you to go too. Like, what are you doing? I wasn't as jaded with Capaldi taking over as the 12th Doctor, because I felt like I learnt my lesson with Matt Smith as the 11th. No, don't judge this new Doctor because of your like bias to the previous one. And because I was kind of familiar with Capaldi, because I've already seen him in Series 4. He was also in Torchwood, so I knew who Capaldi was compared to like Christopher Eccleston or David Tennant or Matt Smith at the time. I didn't know who they were. I've never seen them like act before, so I don't know what they're gonna do. With Capaldi, I was at least somewhat familiar with his range of work, even if it was just contained in the world of Doctor Who. And I really liked Capaldi. I because it was at that same time I was wishing we need to stop with like the companion romances. It's happened with like almost a consistent basis. Let's kind of detour away from it. Let's considering he's now he's the Doctor of a new regeneration cycle. Maybe we can like harken it back to like the first Doctor. He's kind of like he's the old man. He starts off as like, oh, I'm really grumpy, and then he opens up a bit more. He's a bit more kind-hearted. We could do something like that. Not just like every companion just wants to the Doctor. Like, I know he's great and all, but like we could do without some companion romance for a time, okay? But it was unfortunately with Capaldi's run, particularly towards the end, is when my love for Doctor Who started to decline. I did like the majority of his first season, series 8. Yeah, series 8. Mainly because of Missy. I really love Missy, even though it's very obvious that she's the master. Missy in it was great. I like you're seeing like the Doctor developing this, finding out he's now in this new regeneration cycle. Who is he? Still the Doctor? What kind of Doctor is he? The next series 9, very mixed on. But series 10, I think, is when I really kind of just started to lose it. Because, like I said earlier, I would never miss an episode. I always watched it on time. I watched it on the day it would air. No later unless something forced me to, The house could be on fire. This house could be on fire. But if Doctor Who was on, I would stay in that. I would go down with the house just to watch that episode. Okay? I need to know if the Doctor defeated the Daleks. Okay? I know he's done it before, but I need to see if he can do it again. Alright? But yeah, series 10 is when I don't know what it is, because going back to watch series 10 is like, okay, there's some really good episodes in here that would have like kept me going. So why did I just not bother? Why did I just start losing touch with it? I didn't keep up with the episodes. Like, I would watch them like a day or two later. I don't know, it could have just maybe been that was in a time of my life where I started to get more preoccupied with other things. Like, who knows, Alzheimer's right here. I can't remember shit unless it's certain details. But that's when I started to just I was not keeping up to date with Doctor Who, except for like the finale, because it's like, okay, now we have it's the Cybermen, and they spoiled that the original design, the classic Mondasian Cybermen were coming back, and look, the Masters, the Harold Saxon Master's back, and he's going to be meeting his future incarnation, Missy. That's going to be great. And I do like those finale. I really like the finales, and then continuing on with it, and then we find out Jodie Whittaker will take over the role. Moffat's leaving, Chibnall's taking over as showrunner, and we have our first female Doctor coming into the role, and I was all for it. Okay, when it was first announced, we see that trailer of her, hooded, taking the hood. It's a woman. I sound like every just frat bro at a club. Woman, it's a woman. But I was all for it. In universe, it's been explained that, and we've also seen Time Lords aren't constricted to just the one gender. They can change. Okay, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not like, wow, that can't be a thing. That's too absurd for this sci-fi show. But similar to Capaldi, I was somewhat familiar with Jodie Whittaker, uh, mainly because of Broadchurch, but particularly the first season, because I really enjoyed the first season. I think it is a fantastic series. So I was familiar with Jodie. I was somewhat familiar with Chibnall, considering they worked. Yeah, they worked together in Broadchurch, did they? I'm gonna do a quick. Yeah, created by Chris Chibnall. So yeah, they've worked together on Broadchurch. It's like, okay, what could go wrong? I soon ate my words there, because I was not impressed with her first series. Because I wanted to like it, even going back to it, it's like there was so much you could have just done with the 13th Doctor to make her really stand out, to make her really great, and just missed potential. I feel like I could that's just my overall thoughts on just the Chibnall era of Doctor Who. Missed potential. There is so much they could have done. They chose not to. And this is where, even though it started with towards the end of Capaldi's run, this is where it really started to cement that I am done with Doctor Who. None of the stories were just hitting with me. There's nothing. I found the majority of them were just bland. They weren't engaging. They just didn't. I don't know. They didn't feel like Doctor Who to me for some reason, and it's not because we have a female Doctor in the role. Like I said, I was all for it. I was all for Jodie as the Doctor. Okay, I believe that you could do so much great stuff with Jodie's Doctor. It's not because of like the politics with some of the episodes. Like, yeah, I'm not stupid enough to say Doctor Who was never political. Yes, we've had political stuff in Doctor Who, but I felt like, just going off memory, it's been a while since I've watched a lot of like Doctor Who in the past, so my memory's a bit phasey, but I feel like they at least didn't sacrifice storytelling and engagement with the audience to just shove down the obvious political messaging that they wanted in this. It nuanced, maybe, is that the word? It wasn't as nuanced as like previous like episodes that had a political message behind them. But regardless of that, overall, it just felt bland to me. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm done with this show. But I'll see how the next series goes. Series 12. We'll see how Series 12 goes, because we have the two-parter Spyfall. You have the return of the Master, now portrayed by Sacha Dhawan. Great reveal. Now, unlike with Missy, where it was very obviously that she is the Master. Obviously, Missy, short for mistress, the female equivalent to Master. It was obvious. With Sacha Dhawan's, it wasn't. It was like, oh god, that's he's the Master. Okay, let's now I'll give you praise. You did that well. It was a really good reveal. But then again, running theme that I have with the Chibnall era, wasted potential. I feel like you could have done so much better with this Master. Then I was like, okay, I just really don't care about continuing with after Spyfall until Fugitive of the Judoon. Mainly because everyone was going crazy about, like, we have a Doctor that doesn't fit in the timeline. We have this new Doctor, and it's like, she's not after Jodie because she doesn't know the 13th Doctor, and she's not she's not before 13 because 13 doesn't know her. Like, okay, no, okay, this is interesting. Okay, where's this gonna go? Where's this heading? Like, what's going on with this doctor? And again, it's like, I did like Joe Martin as the fugitive doctor. It's just unfortunate she is tied to what I'm leading into, which was the timeless child. We have our last 2 episodes of series 12, and I'm like, yeah, I am done. Like, for real this time. I am done with this show. The timeless child reveal was, to me, the most damage done to this show. Because it's hard to put into words just how much I hated the reveal of, like, the Doctor is the timeless child, like the source of regeneration for the Time Lords. Because, like, I always liked that the Doctor was just special because of what they did. It wasn't necessarily because of who they were or who they are or what they are. When in regards to the Timeless Child, it's just because of what they did. No, that's what I liked about the Doctor. They're this all important. They're all important because of their actions, because of the history of what they've done. Saving people, being a good person, all of that. Not because, like, oh, they're the source of regeneration for the Time Lords. They're the huge foundation to what made the Time Lords the Time Lords. Aside from the whole Omega incident, with making a black hole so they can time travel, but give the source of regeneration, and that's pretty important to Time Lords. And it's the Doctor who did it, and all of that. It's just I just did not like it. I just absolutely hated it, and I definitely just do not love this show anymore. Like, I'm out. I hate it now. I hate this show. Now, hate is too much of a big word. I was just could not care. I just could not care about Doctor Who anymore. Something that I deeply loved, like, with all my heart, and I'm like, okay, I do not want you in my life anymore. Like, we're done. That's just how I felt at that point. And then we come to Phlox. Now, I'm hearing this because my brother is also a Doctor Who fan. Funny enough, he's more casual compared to me, and he was keeping up with, like, Doctor Who, like, past Capaldi on a consistent basis more than me. He's the one who's still watching it, like, every time on the day at the time it aired, and he's telling me the new episode's out, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually. Majority of the time I didn't. But no, hearing about Doctor Who Phlox, they're going to do something like Trial of the Time Lord, where it's a multi-episode, like, story, big story that's connecting all together. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm not going to bother. Like, I'm done with the show. I'm out. I'm not going to bother. That turned out not to be the case because of this channel. My fellow co-host, my friend Jimmy, he knew I was a Doctor Who fan. And he hit me up in the DMs. He said, "No, I'm thinking of starting this Doctor Who channel with another friend of his, Professor Pixel, also a fan of the shows. Would you like to be a part of it? We're gonna talk about all things Doctor Who, whether it be like classic Who, new Who, and especially with, like, the current season, like, we can probably, like, review it and stuff like that, give our thoughts." It's like, yeah, even though I was done with Doctor Who, I thought this could be fun because it's with people, it's with others. It's just not me. It's not just me giving my thoughts. I'm discussing it with people who may share or not share the same thoughts. So it's like, okay, this could be interesting. This could be fun. So I had to go with it. Now watching Flux, the first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, maybe they've learnt their lesson. Because this is good. No, this is actually good. Third episode comes and I'm like, no. I don't think they learned their lesson. 4th episode, okay, maybe it was a fluke, okay, because this is also really good. Then we come to our last 2 episodes, 5 and 6, and I'm like, no, again, wasted potential. You know, you have these great villains, you know, Swarm and Azure, and nothing with them. The Grand Serpent, he was great for what little we had. It would have been cliche, but if he turned out to be the master, amazing. Like the actor for the Grand Serpent, he did a fantastic job as a villain. But again, wasted potential. Incredibly wasted potential. But even like regardless of that, that is not what reignited my love of Doctor Who. I decided because we're doing the channel, it felt like just a job at this point. Now we're watching Flux, and it's like, okay, we got 3 episodes, and it turns out it's going to be the end of Whittaker's era and Chibnall's era. They're both going to leave, so we only got like 3 episodes left, and it's like, okay, let's see how it goes. So it just felt more of an obligation instead of a choice. Like free will is like, oh, I want to watch it because I want to. It's like, no, I have to watch it because of this channel. You know, I can't be lazy and be like, hey, I didn't watch the episode, you guys talk about it. I'll be here in the background, you know, making funny faces or something. Who knows? But what really reignited my love of Doctor Who was Big Finish. Yeah, surprising. I know if you've watched my videos, I'm the Big Finish guy. Mr. Big Finish is what they call me. The ladies don't, because I'm terrible at relationships. Getting into them. Terrible in getting into relationships. That's a story for another day. But some context behind this. I wasn't a big audio guy. I did listen to podcasts at the time, but that's because I know that it is primarily an audio based platform. I don't need to see the podcast to feel like I'm missing out on something. It's not like, okay, they're gonna do something like real good, real funny here, but it's only on camera. Like they can't really capture it with just what they're saying, or they're just gonna like tell us like, oh, this person did this like right now, viewers. Like it's like, you know, stuff like that. But because I knew Big Finish existed. I knew about like Doctor Who audio stuff, and I just like, no, I need to see it. I don't want to listen to it. That's half the job. Like, where's the other half of seeing it? You know, show don't tell. You know, I need to see like the Doctor and like and their companions getting into all these adventures and stuff. But if it was after listening to 2 box sets, it was the first of both the Ninth Doctor adventures and the War Doctor Begins, Ravagers and Forged in Fire, Forged in Flame, for the War Doctor Begins. One of those 2 is when suddenly my interest peaked again. I felt like I was that young kid who just randomly caught Doctor Who on TV. And I'm like, wow, what is this? I need more. And I just kept getting into more of the audio stuff. It started with just things that we were going to review. So it was like, okay, we're going to review the Ninth Doctor Adventures. So I'll start buying like all of that. We're going to keep reviewing like the War Doctor Begins. Okay. So I'll listen. I'll buy those. Keep listening to those. But then it branched out more. So okay, there's more stuff of like other doctors that I don't particularly am familiar with, or maybe I just want to listen to more. It's like, oh, there's some Fifth Doctor stuff. I'm going to listen to that. Sixth Doctor. It's like, oh, his season wasn't pretty good. Trial of Time Lord was, but I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Stuff like that, and my love for the show returned because of Big Finish. Because now I felt like I'm getting the Doctor Who that I know and love, and it's back. At least to me, I felt like it's now back to how I first watched it, to how I knew it. I'm in love again, and it's not only is it feeling like, okay, I'm back to the Doctor Who I know and love, but it's giving me new stuff that I'm falling in love with as well. So getting a newfound appreciation for the Sixth Doctor with his stuff, and it's a universal thing that people usually agree on, that Big Finish is what really kind of saves the Sixth Doctor, because he done dirty with his season, and Trial of the Time Lord tries to show, okay, we can give him some good stuff, but unfortunately it's at the end of his time. And then also newfound love for other characters like Eric Roberts' Master, the Master from the TV movie. Back when I first watched the TV movie, I was like, okay, I like him as the Master. Sure, he's no John Sims or Michelle Gomez as their masters, but I like him as the Master. He's a good villain. Rewatching it again for the channels, man, he's actually really underrated. I wish we kind of got more of the movie Master. And then listening to his own series, I'm like, wow, he is excellent. What the hell? Why did we not get more of this Master? He is phenomenal. I've just fell in love with it, with Eric Roberts, the Master. And then same with every other other characters. You have the War Master. You have Rory's own series. I really enjoyed that. I really didn't think I'd enjoy a solo Rory series, but I really enjoyed it. Second box set, Camelot, gave us one of the best characters ever. Gay Lancelot. We stand Gay Lancelot on this channel. He's fantastic. He's such a fun character. But primarily it's giving me all these new adventures. Essentially, to me, just all these new adventures that I can be engaged with. Some I don't like. That happens. Not everything's going to be a home run, but others just really falling in love with and just being amazed by. Stuff like Scherzo from the Eighth Doctor monthly range, Master from also from the monthly range, and a lot of the current box sets that are coming out as well. As okay, I am fully back with Doctor Who. Even if the TV the TV show just no longer interested me anymore, I have another source of Doctor Who that has reignited my love for it, and I'm all for it. Now, as you can tell from the background, it can't see it properly, potato quality camera, but those are some Big Finish box sets. I've been buying the physical ones. I hardly open them. I don't really have anything to play them on, to listen on. I listen to the download, the download versions of them. They're just there because I want to support Big Finish, and I just want to have those box sets in my hand. And fun fact, that's not even a dent on the actual size of what I have bought from Big Finish. Not even a dent. I have bought so much from Big Finish. I think I have bought almost everything. Almost everything to do with Doctor Who or spin-offs. Almost everything. And I've probably only listened to less than a quarter of it, of my collection. There is so much that I have. My bank hates me. But I just love it. Like the Doctor Who content that they're pushing out, I just love it. So I just want more, and I just want to keep supporting them. Whether it's I just buy it as a download or I buy the physical box sets, I just want more of it. I don't want it to go. I don't want it to go away. Will I have the same feeling with it where that I had with the TV show, where I eventually just I'm kind of just losing it? I don't know. I don't want that to happen. I want to keep supporting them. I want to keep loving Doctor Who in this way. So yeah, because of Big Finish, I've fallen back in love with Doctor Who. With the TV show, I don't know. I am hoping that Jodie ends on a high note, because that's all I want. I felt like I said, I felt like she was greatly wasted. The potential she had was not acknowledged or used, executed, etc. All those words. But all I could hope for in the end is that she ends on a high note, ends on a bang, not on a whimper, because that's all I can ask for. I was there at the beginning. I'll be there for the end now. Even with that huge point where I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of just done. Now that I'm back into Doctor Who, I at least want to know how it ends. And even if it's not, that's just unfortunate. But the prospect that we have of the 60th anniversary, David Tennant is back as the Doctor. Don't know if it's actually his Doctor or the 10-teen theory. I hope not. I really don't like the 10-teen theory, but whatever. We got David Tennant back as the Doctor again. Then Ncuti Gatwa as the 14th Doctor. I'm very intrigued to see what he brings to the role. I always am nowadays with after getting over my my whole no one can replace Tennant phase. I'm always initially intrigued with what each new actor will bring to the role of the Doctor, and then also with the fact that we have RTD back. It's okay, he was the showrunner when I first fell in love with the show. Can he give me that same feeling with the show? No, because I'm back in love with Doctor Who, but that's primarily because of Big Finish, because of the audio series. Can the TV show, on the other hand, can that bring it back full circle? Can I fall in love with the TV show again? Because I feel like it's now I may be in love with Doctor Who again, but it's only because of a certain aspect. It's not because of the main part of the franchise, which is the TV show. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's still a long way away. Time of recording, probably Power of the Doctor is coming out soon. Who knows how that's going to what's going to happen with that. But I am at least now eagerly waiting to see how this unfolds. But that is it for this video. Now it's a bit more serious than usual. compared to my reviews that I use, or most of the videos that I do. But it's, like I said at the start, it's something I wanted to get, express in some way. So hopefully you found this engaging, or enjoying. I would not be surprised if you dozed off at some point. I kid. But thank you everyone for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Remember that we do a live stream every week. And I'll see you all in the next one. As always, Mr. Big Finish. I'm going to have some Big Finish reviews out once the actual box sets come out, so I can listen to them. I'm not not psychic. No, if I was, I could tell you go buy this one. But I do have a pick of most anticipated, and that is Master, the Eric Roberts Master series, Nemesis Express. I really loved his first box set, so hopefully this box set is going to be great as well. But thank you everyone for watching. See you all in the next one. Ciao.